Hello and welcome to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Thanks for coming along on this Sunday afternoon here at 1 o'clock. Brendan Lang, Zack Bodenstein, and Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, Steelheads broadcasters. Mississauga coming off a tough weekend, but before we jump into that, see how you guys are doing. Mikey, what's been going on with you here recently?
Not too much. Just watching some football over the weekend there. Saw the Buffalo Bills lose, which is tough. You know, it's too bad I feel sorry for Bills fans there. And Detroit Lions, that's a good story. So, yeah, I watched the football on the weekend. That's about it, right? Hung out at the rink, of course. And, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. You know who's happy about that Bills loss?
Tom
Pratchett. Yeah. He's the for those who don't know, he's the one of the official scorekeepers for the Steelheads, and he is very anti-Buffalo Bills. Does anybody know why he's anti? Like, has he said?
Well, I don't know if I think he's anti-NFL. Like, he's a CFL guy, he's an Argos guy. I'm pretty sure he's just anti-all NFL. And most, people who live around here cheer for the Bills instead of the Argos. So I think he doesn't like that. So he hopes that they lose all the time because people in Southern Ontario root for the Bills. I think that's kind of the reason for that. But before the game, he left a paper in front of our thing saying Kansas City 23, Bills 17, that they were going to win. And he was kind of close, actually.
Yeah. He hates everything Buffalo, everything. He hates the Bears. He doesn't like the Bills, he told me. He said no Buffalo. That's it. He said those were his exact words. Okay, all right.
I wonder why. I don't know. Whatever. I'm okay. As long as we're talking about sports, I feel good. Adrian Beltre, first ballot Hall of Famer, almost unanimous. And for baseball fans, I mean, what a class between Todd Helton, Joe Mauer, and Adrian Beltre. And Beltre, to be honest, is probably the guy who helped me fall in love with baseball. Just the way he played it looked effortless for him. 5 Gold Gloves, almost 3,200 hits, just effortless. And the one knee swings, just all the antics with Elvis Andrus on the left side of the infield. So, just so great to see. Like, I don't really care about people, like athletes' personal lives, to be honest with you, but he's one guy who I truly do root for. So super happy to see Beltre get in.
Yeah, me too. I was watching the announcement and all the stuff with like his head too, whenever they would talk. Yeah. So I always thought that was so funny. But yeah, just great baseball player. And I am a Blue Jays fan, but other than that, I'm a Rockies fan, which kind of sucks right now. But Todd Helton was like, when I first started watching baseball, he was one of the best players in the game playing with Colorado. So I was excited to see him get in. I thought that he probably could have gotten in a little sooner, but yes, it's good to finally see that. And he can get in there with Larry Walker, the Canadian, both the Colorado guys. So that's definitely a cool thing here. All right. So we can get into some hockey talk. Mikey, you'd mentioned it there, watching some football. We were at the rink a lot over the weekend though. Had a few games. He had the game on Thursday. I guess we can kind of start with that. Just very quickly go over it, Mikey. You can maybe just kind of round that one up because you were there in Niagara.
Yeah, no, it's Ryers and Leander show, really. Let's be real here. I mean, it was a 2-1 win for the Steelheads against the Niagara Ice Dogs, but Leanders was fantastic. I believe he stopped 37 of 38 shots that game, right? So we're stopping everything in sight. Niagara was really coming on hard right at the end of the game there, and even in the third period. And Leaders was just stopping everything in sight. I mean, you could have thrown 5 kitchen sinks at him, and he would have stopped them all. Just to say, right? So it was definitely the Ryerson Leander show that game, and it was greasy. It was greasy, but the Steelheads got the 2 points.
Yeah, it was stingy. That's what I thought too. Like, that's the way I was looking at it. Physical, a lot of speed. I like the way the Steelheads played through the neutral zone in that game. If we're going to have any takeaways other than the goaltending, very streaky through the neutral zone. We saw Zidlicki a few times really showing off the wheels. So that was good to see. Zabeski showing the physicality. Of course, he missed the 2 games after that with an illness, but hoping that he's good to go this weekend because that's a big presence, especially for a team struggling to score goals. So I guess we can move on to Friday, Brendan, talk about that game against the North Bay Battalion, that comeback that just fell short.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can get to that. And you're right. Just mentioning on the point of Mason Zabeski, I mean, definitely you think of trading away a guy like Xander Vecchia. I think he was maybe third or fourth on the team in points. And Mikey, we talked about that too off the air before. Is kind of got to find a way to fill that. And obviously Mason Zabeski is a guy that they lean on up there. Whether it be first or second line, so that'll be huge to finally get him back. I'm sure he'll be back on Friday. It was just an illness here that he missed. It's kind of been going around the Steelheads, so he missed that this past weekend. But yeah, we can go into the North Bay game, and you're right, Zach. It was really a slow start to that game. Mississauga kind of came out a little bit flat. The first, I'd say, maybe 10 minutes of that period was fairly even, and then after that, North Bay kind of took it to them, scoring those 2 goals. And then you get the early one in the second period, and it's like, okay, maybe this game's going to kind of get away from them. But then they absolutely changed how they were playing. And Mikey, obviously, that shows a lot of character. I mean, that game could have gotten away from them easily when they let in that third goal, but they didn't let that happen.
No, they didn't. And you know what? They came out hard in that third period, the Steelheads did, and they only let 2 shots on Ryerson Leaders, right? And that was key. They came out with the intensity, the tying goal from Porter Martone late there to tie the game. Is this the 3-on-3 overtime? Well, they just couldn't capitalize on 3-on-3. But yeah, it was a great comeback, and it was a great character comeback to come back and at least get a point out of that. So Steelheads, they were looking to build off that. So, but it was good to get a point out of that game, that's for sure. So 3 out of 4 in the first 2. But another thing about Niagara is nice to see Dean Lucas score his first goal as a Steelhead. I forgot to mention. So it was a nice goal too. Nice back.
Oh yeah,
my goodness.
Great individual effort.
Smooth.
Yeah, and in that one you have the 2 overagers, Boudreau and Lucas coming through for them, getting those goals. Yeah,
this team needs that. They need the depth scoring, and even though those are the 2 oldest guys on the team, they're still considered depth forward, so they need the depth scoring. And let's go back to North Bay. What is it with these slow starts and against the North Bay Battalion? This is 2 or 3 times now they've gone down 3-0, and they've had to claw back to end up tying the game, which is great. But you want to avoid that in the first place. Again, great analysis, but obviously great starts are imperative for this team, especially a team this young that rides that wave of emotion. To get off to a strong start is huge, and that's a really good experienced North Bay team that also loaded up at the deadline. We thought maybe they would go the other way with it and sell off some assets considering who's not coming back, but they want to make a run. They're obviously upset with how last year ended when they looked like they were the real deal, and they were. But that East was loaded last year.
They better hope they go far this year, because they have nothing in the draft cupboard, and they're going to lose a lot of players next year. So even talking to some of their staff, the guys we see up there and stuff like that. So they say the same thing. Hey, you know what? If we're not going to go this year, next year is going to be a problem. So yeah, they did load up, and unexpectedly, as you said, we didn't think they were going to.
Especially, I mean, they were playing well, but coming into the year, I know nobody thought they would be a team that would be loading up at the deadline, as you just mentioned there, because they didn't really have anything in the cupboards, in the draft cupboards. Moving forward, they're going to be losing some guys. So, but yeah, they're playing some good hockey. And you're right. Yes, they didn't complete the comeback, and you don't really like the moral victory kind of thing, but still getting a point is huge, because the top of the Eastern Conference are so bunched up right now. Like, from 1 to 7. I mean, there's so many possibilities that could happen in that Eastern Conference.
Oh, it's crazy. The Bulldogs are in first place right now, 52 points, 51 points with Sudbury Wolves, 50 points with the North Bay Battalion. I've never seen it like this in so long. Oshawa in 4th, and then you got it with 47. Then the Steelheads have dropped to 5th now. Or excuse me, Steelheads with 47 points, Generals with 48. So, that's the top 5 right there. That's crazy. Crazy close. You
know what? They're all playoff games. You got it. The rest of the stretch, I realize it's late January, but you got to treat these games like playoff games, because you're going up against one of these teams in the first round. You need that intensity. Your playoff mindset has to kind of kick in now with that every game is huge mentality, and pick up those points. You want home ice. You want to finish as high as possible, perhaps draw a better matchup, but the East is so bunched up right now. We were talking about how it's wide open, and I still believe it is, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just wide open because every team is so good.
It's like a wave. The Steelheads are riding a wave right now. They're trying to find that consistency, right? And that's been the problem lately, is the consistency. They've been up and then they've been down. They've been up and then they've been down. If they could find that nice consistency going, even keel, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and we can kind of get into that a little bit here as we move along in this first segment before we get our interview guest on. But before we do that, I just want to jump into the last game that we had this past weekend, and that was against
Mhm.
Brantford 3-0. So that one, it seemed kind of similar. I think Zach, you maybe had mentioned it on the broadcast. Seemed similar to the Sarnia game almost, where like they were out of it and then they kind of got back into it there for a stretch in the early third period, and then Brantford just kind of took it to them after that. So tough game for them there on Sunday.
And more penalty trouble. I really do. I look at these games and I see how they get down, and it's just penalties. They're unable to find a rhythm. So Mike was just talking about, that wave choppiness, up, down. But when, you're marching to the penalty box, you're consistently putting yourself in tough situations. It's tough to win a hockey game. And again, I think they faced a good goalie again. Mateo Droback was awesome. Let's give him credit. And let's also give
100%.
We'll give the Bulldogs credit too, because no
For
Nick
sure.
Lardis, no Cole Brown, no Patrick Thomas on the road. They still get it done, and they played a really good trap game against the Steelheads.
They sure did.
Not enough quality chances for my liking, Mike. I think Mississauga was just a little bit flat, to be honest with you.
That's it. I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, you got to come out the dressing room if you're the Steelheads, and you got to be pumped up for these kind of games, Eastern Conference games. I'm sure they were, but they just didn't have that oomph in them in the beginning of the game. And then once Brantford scored that first goal, I know Steelheads had some chances after that. Then Brantford 2-0. And after that, it just seemed like the winds just flew, and there was nothing after that, right? There was no intensity. It did seem like exactly like the Sarnia game when they played the Steelheads, just flat, just kind of back and forth, not really anything going on. But yeah, Brantford played a good road game, and you got to give them credit. Nice trap game they played, but I think it'll be a different story this time come around in Brantford. I'll just say that. So
yeah, no, the Bulldogs haven't even been that good on the road this year, but that's why I'm going to give them all the credit in the world for the way they played against the Steelheads. I mean, they were playing 500 hockey on the road. Let's give them credit. They shut Mississauga down, but now it's on the Steelheads to kind of flip things around. You need your top line going again. The goaltending's not my issue, but you need the depth scoring. You really need special teams to start improving. Brendan, we were talking about the power play slump for the Steelheads, so that's another thing that you'd like to see get clicking here and get hot.
Yeah, it would be huge for them. And I mean, they've been pretty good on the power play. They slipped a little bit, as you just said there. But Zach, like you kind of mentioned before, is every game is sort of like a playoff game. It needs to be treated like that. I'm not saying the players weren't treating these games like playoff games. I'm sure they understand the magnitude of the games, but it's just like that North Bay game. Sure, they got down, but they found a way to scratch out a point and still kind of stay in it. That's what you like to see. The Brantford game, it just seemed like they didn't have much at the beginning, and they just couldn't quite find it as they kept going along in that one. And Mikey, you said too, the consistency is a big thing. We talked about the power play too, but what is something that, the Steelheads, what's their record here in the past 10? Let me look. 3-6-1. So yeah. So I mean, they're kind of struggling a little bit after obviously getting off to a great start to the year. So what do you see maybe needs to change a little bit from this team to kind of get it back on track?
It's tough. It's tough to say. I mean, they need to get back to that opening, like 5-0 or whatever we started, whatever. So need to get back to that hard work, the forechecking. I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, but the forecheck, just the crashing of the net and getting back in their own zone, getting out quickly. Like they're not getting out quickly right now out of their own zone. I think that's been a problem. So the breakouts need to be faster as they were in the beginning of the year. The breakouts right now, they're a little bit slower, and teams are kind of like forechecking the Steelheads, keeping them in their own end. That wasn't happening before. They're able to move the puck out with ease. Now they're starting to struggle in their own end. So D-zone coverage right now needs to be a lot better.
Yeah, I'd agree with them. I think teams are taking a play out of the James Richmond Mississauga Steelhead book and ramping up that pressure. You always say, Mike, they swarm like bees. But we're seeing that work against the Steelheads now when teams are starting to ramp up the pressure. F1 goes in, F2 supports, and you have two guys right here. The Steelheads are having a tough job clearing that puck out of their own zone. They're making it tough on themselves. We talked about the lack of depth scoring in the special teams, but I think that's a really good point, that they're just being pressured too hard right now and not able to adapt.
They need guys. I know Porter Martone scored that game time goal against North Bay, but we need that Porter Martone that's going to score a goal a game and get two assists a game. We need that Angus McDonnell. We need the Goose out there, being consistent as well. He's been actually probably the most consistent of the forwards right now in this little slump that they're in. We'll call it a little slump. But they're, again, I sound like a broken record. They're going to need guys like Jack Van Bolsen. They're going to need guys like Lucas Karmiris, who has been playing a lot better lately. But they're going to need guys like him to step up. They're going to need guys like, Jakob Fibiger to maybe start doing what he was doing at the beginning of the season. Now he's kind of eased off a little bit. Need to get that intensity back. So the secondary scoring, it needs to be there, boys. It's not there right now.
Yeah, definitely secondary scoring is something that will pick up here as we move along into this, of course, with these games.
It's one of those.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. And you were saying,
one last thing.
Yeah.
One last thing. This happens to every OHL team.
100%.
Happens to every OHL team during the year. And I'm going to give an example. Last year, and Brendan, we talked about this in intermission. Peterborough Pete's last year. Do you remember when they made all those trades? They picked up everybody, right? And then what happened? They were just the same thing was happening. They're down. Everybody's talking about, oh my goodness, what's happened to Peterborough Pete's? Why did they make these trades? They're not playing well. Well, you know what? They just went through a little slump. Then what happened after that? Then they started beating everybody, right? Exactly. So it happens to every OHL team. And James Richmond is going to have these guys ready for the Brantford Bulldogs. 103 million%. It's going to be a different story.
Even the way the London Knights started this year, they were not convincing at all. And look at them now. Look at them now. I mean,
that's right.
Sometimes teams just need to light a match under them, and then they flame up, and that's
right.
They're a young team too. We have to keep
for sure
reminding ourselves how young this team is, and it's going to be an adaptation for them to kind of find their footing and all get on the same page. So. Am I worried? No, but obviously you'd like them to break out of this sooner rather than later. And there are a few things that we just touched on where, they need to improve on to start winning hockey games again.
Still tons of games left, guys.
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah.
Tons of hockey,
lots,
playoffs.
Yes.
My goodness. We got over maybe hopefully close to 3 months of hockey left, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully, right?
Lots.
2.5 for sure. But, so the way she goes.
Right. Yes, definitely lots of hockey left. Okay, so we'll take a break here, and then we'll have our special guest coming up next. You're listening to Trout Talk here on Sauga 960 AM. And welcome back to Trout Talk on Sauga 960 AM. I'm Brendan Lang, Zack Bodenstein, and Mikey Cade, Mike Karafilidis, with you here on this Sunday afternoon as we are kind of getting set for this game with the Brantford Bulldogs. And like to welcome on our guest now. He's from Brantford. And that's Lucas Karmiris, Mississauga Steelheads forward. Lucas, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
So we were just kind of talking here about the recent stretch of play. You guys are 3-6-1 in your last 10 games. So kind of what are you guys looking at here moving forward in this next kind of stretch and coming down the stretch here in the season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's ups and downs throughout the season, and we're kind of on the downslope right now. And, good teams find a way to get out of that. So we're just, we're going back to, the drawing board at square one and trying to figure things out. And, I'm very confident we're going to get out of it very soon. And, I think this weekend's a great opportunity to kind of, take that. We've got Flint coming up and then in Brantford. So, we got them right back up again. So we're looking to take it to them. And, we don't go down easy. So yeah, like I said, we're just trying to get back up on the slope.
Yeah, no, you know what, Lucas, first of all, I want to congratulate you again on your 100th career OHL game that you just played this past Sunday. Awesome accomplishment, my man. I want to ask you something. Being a late birthday, right? So your NHL draft year is next year. Okay. But what do you feel you have to be? I mean, seeing all your teammates now, I think there's 6 or 7 that are in the top. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? That are in the NHL Central Scouting. We're seeing all this. Now your draft year is next year because of your late birthday. So what I want to ask you is, what do you think you need to work on in your game to be that guy that's going to be in the top 50 or top 40 for next year?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks, Mikey. I appreciate it for the 100th game. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's. I mean, listen. There's a lot of things that go into the game, and I think that just trying to add on to my game as much as I can and add things defensively and offensively, and I think that I've worked really hard on my 200-foot game and making sure I'm responsible in the D zone and try to limit my mistakes as much as I can. So when it comes to crunch time and important games and playoffs, I'm reliable to be out there. And and yeah, I mean, going into next year, I think that offensive production, I think I'm very confident in myself, and I know I have that in me. So, I think even, starting now, and even in this year, it's going to start going up. And I mean, that once that clicks, I think that, it's just take off from there. So, yeah, obviously I'd like to see a little bit more production for myself. And, as time comes, that's going to happen. So, yeah, just answering that's what's I think going to next year. It's going to come. So.
Well, Lucas, we heard your head coach talk to us actually about you, and he was saying the more you commit defensively, the more offense starts to come. You're getting more puck touches. How's the confidence level right now as you improve that 200-foot game translating to your offense?
Yeah, I feel great right now, actually. I think that, I'm commanding the puck a lot more, and, getting it earlier in our zone, and being able to break it up the ice with a lot of speed. So, I mean, yeah, obviously focusing on defense is a priority. In order to win games, you got to keep pucks out of the net. But, leading to that, that's good defense only leads to better offense. So, as long as I'm responsible there, offense is going to come. And like I said, once that starts clicking, it's going to be hard to come back. So.
And when I welcome you onto the show, I had mentioned that you're from Brantford. So obviously you've played a game now in Brantford, your hometown. You played against them here in Mississauga. Now you're going to be back there. This show is airing actually just before the game on Sunday. So how cool is that to be able to play in your hometown, and not just be able to play in your hometown, but when you started in the OHL, they didn't have a team. So for them to kind of get there while you're in the OHL and now have a chance to play back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly really special. That's not something you expect, especially, like you said there wasn't a team, so you never thought you'd be playing an OHL game in Brantford. And it's really cool to play in front of friends and family. And it's those are the people you play for to begin with, right? So to be able to see all of them there at hometown, 5 minutes away from that rink, being able to play there. And it's a good atmosphere. It's really cool to play there. I know last time I wasn't the biggest fan there from a lot with that goal I scored.
No, it was a good goal.
Yeah,
it was a good goal. It was a good goal.
I could hear. Oh yes, no, you did not do it. You did not do a kicking motion. You directed it in with your skate. It was perfect. I just want to add that.
Yeah, we all talked about it already.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad someone's on my side.
I was saying it all in the air. I repeated myself about 10 times on the air just to let you know.
Yeah, that's funny you say that.
Kicking motion, that is a goal. Anyway, sorry, Carmen.
Yeah, no, that's funny you say that because I go to Brantford actually a couple of weeks ago, and actually the week after the game, and I had to go watch my little sister play. So someone comes up to me and is like, "Yeah, we didn't really think that was a goal last week, but we thought you kicked it in." So it was pretty funny.
Nope, you just go, nope, sorry, no.
Yeah, I know, it was funny that someone approaches you and says that, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't expect to get booed in my hometown either for the first period. So it was a lot to take in for the bit, but I mean, I enjoy it. That's that's only fuel. That's only fuel for me. So I thought that was pretty funny actually. That my first 20 minutes of playing my hometown, I'm getting booed. So yeah, that was. But like back to your question, it is really cool to play in Brantford, and I'm excited to go play there again. So
that's awesome. No, I was going to say, I can't believe I was looking at your stats with the Brantford 99ers before you got drafted to the Steelheads. In 2021-22, Lucas Karmiris, 27 games played. Listen to this. 37 goals, 67 points. 67 points he had for the Brantford 99ers the year before he got drafted in the first round by the Steelheads. Well, I that's pretty good, Lucas. I just say that, Carmi. And well, yeah, absolutely. But now the adjustment to the OHL. Talk about that.
Yeah, obviously it's they're the best players in Ontario, and even more. You got players from the States and Europe. So, I mean, yeah, it's you're putting the best together, and it's at the beginning it's a transition, and it's also you're trying to find your identity as a player. Everyone was a superstar in minor hockey, right? That's why everyone's in that league. So, I know what I did in minor hockey was, it was cool, and I still think I am that. I'm a guy that can put up goals and assists. So, like I said earlier, that's something that's I feel like it's coming, and I'm confident in myself, and that's a big part to just be able to believe in myself. That's where it starts, right? So as long as my mind's straight on that, then it's gonna follow. So the OHL is it's a great player, it's a great league, and it's something that you have to you don't take for granted, right? So it's to answer your question, that's what I think there.
Confidence. I love it. See, that's what you have right now is the confidence. And you have been getting better every game by game. That's unbelievable.
And that's what I was going to say. I mean, when Lucas Karmiris is feeling it, you could see, for me, the biggest indicator is how you fly through the neutral zone with the puck. Obviously, your puck carries through the neutral zone, to me, is the biggest indicator. For you, when you're feeling good, what do you think you're doing the best out there?
Yeah, like you pretty much hit it right on the spot there. It's having the puck and carrying it through the neutral zone and making plays. Like that's what my identity is, and that's what I do. So I think that when I have the puck, I look for the players around me and hope to make them better as well. So as long as I'm doing that with pace and going up and down the middle hard, and having a little bit of grit in my game too. When someone takes that puck away or they have the puck, go get it back. That's kind of what my play is. So yeah.
And Mikey had asked about the transition from minor hockey going to the OHL. Obviously, it is a big transition, as you talked about there, but who were some of the guys that really helped you along? Obviously, there were some older guys on the team last year, like James Hardy and Charlie Callahan and those guys. And now the team this year is really close in age. But who are some of those players that really helped you with that transition?
Yeah, I mean, going into an older team, it's at the beginning of my first year, it was a lot different, and you're used to playing with guys your age, and all of a sudden, you go up there and there's guys 3-4 years older than you. So yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of great advice throughout my half a year with an older team. Guys like Del Blues, we were stall buddies, and he's giving me some great advice on how to just keep your nose to the grindstone and keep pushing, because it's a long road. It's quick, but it's also long at the same time, right? So you're just trying to take it all in and learn as much as you can, so when your opportunity comes, that you're ready for it. So I mean, watching guys like even Del Mastro play, and how his poise at the puck, and how he can just slow a game down. That's something that it's pretty cool when you see that, and then like you practice against that too, and that's when you're thinking about not only you're on their team, but in practice you're going against those guys like that, right? Owen Beck, and those are great players that put a name for themselves out there. So it only made me better as a player. So hopefully I can be someone like that to younger guys coming up into our team as well too. So
I'd say you're well on your way for that. That's for sure. I asked you about this on Sunday, but I want to get into more about this. So your parents, Billet, Merritt Van Acker, which I absolutely love, and your parents are great people. We all met your parents and stuff like that. But anyways, so you guys are best buds, really good friends, right, off of the ice and whatnot. So how much smack do you guys talk to each other? I want to know that right now.
Yeah.
Because we're taking up to Brantford, and do you ever text them and say, yeah, whatever, yeah, you'll see, or anything like that?
Yeah, no, honestly, we don't do too much smack talk. Like I said earlier to you in the interview, that
right,
we kind of, on game days, we don't really talk. We kind of keep that professional, and we'll see you out there, and we're not friends before the game or on the ice, but after we'll have a good chuckle what went on in the game. So
that's good friends, right?
Yeah,
there.
I mean, yeah, Merrick's a great buddy of mine. So we grew up playing together on the same line. So and we're great friends outside of hockey as well. So yeah, I mean, he's having a great year, and it's I'm happy for him, and seeing what he's doing is awesome, and he's at the prospects game right now, so good for him on doing that, and you know I'm cheering for him as his career grows too. So
Do your
it's
parents
pretty
ever
cool.
do your parents ever say like, oh, did they ever complain to you about the grocery bill or anything like that with Mary?
Yeah, no, he gets done pretty well there. So
Yeah.
I'm just
he's good. I think he always sometimes he'll send me some screenshots of when he's eating, and it's pretty funny. So
Nice.
yeah, it's no, he's doing all right over there.
Well, we've seen you grow a little bit, packed on some
Mhm.
size, good size, which is good. What's the meal plan like for you? Like pre-game meals, stuff like that. Like what are some of your go-tos? We'll keep things a little bit lighter now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not as picky when it comes to that stuff. Obviously, I like the pasta before a game, or chicken and rice. I'll like to go out for a nice steak the night before a game. With some of our teammates, we will go to the keg and order a nice bill up. So yeah,
medium rare, I hope.
yeah. I'm a medium well guy.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Yeah.
These guys make fun of me all the time. I'm a medium well guy too. You're the first person on here that has said that.
man?
Yeah, I know. I've tried. I know Tom Frater. He gives me a lot of crap for that. I know he tells me to switch it up, but yeah, I don't know. I try, but
whatever you like.
it's something I was raised in, was having medium well. My whole family's medium well, so
It's okay. Whatever you like. You're
yeah.
just now you and Brendan, they're best friends now.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
He's the medium well guy.
Yeah.
We ride him all the time about that. So.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it's pretty basic what I eat. It's nothing crazy.
So we know about the food. We've talked a little bit about you getting booed in your hometown of Brantford, but outside of Mississauga and Brantford, what's been your favorite place to play in the OHL?
I mean, it's hard not to say London. That's a pretty cool spot. I thought last year Windsor was really cool as well. They had some, a lot of great fans, and I mean their stadium, their seats go up really high, and when it's packed, it's pretty cool. So I think in intermission they were like, before we came out, I think second intermission there was like a black, like lights were dark, everyone's flashlights are on, and they're all singing.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I remember going on the ice and looking at all the other rookies, and we're like, holy crap, what's going on? So I thought that was pretty cool. So Windsor was cool, London's great, and yeah, I mean there's Kitchener's really cool too, the odd. So there's a lot of great rinks out there. So
looks like to me, Lucas, you and yourself, and actually every time you've been on the line with Dean Locust, you guys seem to have a little good chemistry going on. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, Dino's a great player. I mean, it shows for it in his past, years. He's put up some great points, and he's a great person too. So, we seem to be clicking when we're on the ice, and it's good to find chemistry with someone. It only grows on, and we're still, I think, if we keep playing together, we're still trying to learn each other and how we play. But I think just talking it out, and if we keep playing together, that's only going to grow. So yeah, he's a great addition to our team, and we play for guys like him and Sharpie and Boudreaux, like their last years. That's who we're playing for, to make a deep playoff run for them, so they can have good, their memory of their last year was to go far. So
Love it.
As long as we play for guys like that, I mean, that's the motivation itself to go far.
Amazing. You just motivated me, Lucas, right now. Now I feel like going and over here boxing or something. Anyway.
Let's stick with your chemistry with Dean Locust, because obviously he's a winger, but he's a few years older than you. He also plays a similar style, 200-foot game. Have you talked to him a little bit about the defensive side of the puck? Have you learned a few things from him so far?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked much about the defensive side, but we do say one thing, or as long as we're having the puck, we don't have to play defense. So as long as we just, have the puck, take control of it, and keep it in the O zone, that eliminates you from even playing defense. So as long as we're dangerous there, then that's, don't really have to focus too much on the defense, which is nice. So.
And Zach kind of asking about the player, but I want to ask more about the coaching staff. You had Crackers last year, Jeff Kierzakos, and Stefan Thorne this year, and James Richmond. So what have they been able to do to help your development here so far through, I guess, now a year and a half here in Mississauga?
Yeah, I mean, they've helped me so much and just, molding me into being a pro style player. And, it's something I'm really thankful for. And, I want to learn. I want to continue to learn. And they've done a great job of helping me, understand what it takes to, go to the next level. And, there's a process to it. And, I've learned so many things throughout my, year and a half being here. And, I very sure I'm going to be learning more, but that just comes with, the time. And, Thorny's been, actually, I'll start with Jeff. Jeff's been great, when I was there my first year, and he's taught me a lot. And then Thorny coming in this year, he's been really great and, really helping me focus on, the D side of the puck and being in the right areas. And, JR's really helped me add on some things into my game too. And again, like you guys said earlier, focusing on me being smart defensively. So when I, again, starting in defense and then going to offense. So, it's been great. They're really helped me. And, even, Maddie, the D coach, he's helped give me some really great tips on how defenders kind of approach the game too, right? So you look at that, and then you can give a shout out to Bex because the goalie coach, because he's I usually do goalie shooting mostly every day with the goalies. So he's taught me some things too on how to read goalies and beat them. So I mean, the coaching staff in general has just been fantastic, and it's something I've loved since day one I've been here. So they've all been really great to me.
Man, oh man, what are some of the things that you like to do outside of the rink? We got to get to know Lucas Karmiris a little bit more here. I mean, we know you like your chicken, you like your parm, you like your rice. Do you like to play football? Do you like to figure skate? What do you like to do?
Yeah, I've picked up a couple of hobbies as time goes on. I like to wake surf in the summer a lot. We have a boat, so I like to go down. Actually, where Ryerson's close to. So we have a boat where he lives, and I like to go wake surf. And I've also actually picked up guitar last summer. So I've been playing the guitar for probably going on to like 9 months now.
Oh my goodness.
I was addicted in the summer. Actually, like I was probably be 3 hours of just straight guitar. So
good
I'm
for you.
good at it now. So it's fun. I like being able to play different. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are you sad about the Buffalo Bills?
I don't really pay attention to football as much. So obviously I know playoffs get pretty big and people get passionate about it. And, there's some fights breaking out in our room of who's going for who. And I kind of just I try to lay back on that. I don't know too much about football. Like obviously I know the big teams, but I don't really pay attention much. I like to tune in on the Super Bowl, like the fourth quarter, to see if the game's getting interesting or not. And but if not, yeah, I mean it's pretty cool.
What can you play the guitar?
Sorry?
Give me a song you play in the guitar.
Oh, I can play a lot. It's one of my favorites are, well, my dad's favorite's probably Wanted Dead or Alive. That's a pretty cool one. Just the beginning intro. I kind of do a lot of country too. So like Cover Me Up by Morgan Wallen's a really cool one. I actually, for Christmas, I got an electric guitar. That was my Christmas gift. So I've been learning Guns N' Roses on that too, the Sweet Child of Mine. So that's gonna, it's bringing some years in my household when I go home. And my little sister wants to kill me sometimes because she's trying to do her thing, and I'm just they're strumming the guitar and the amp's just loud. There's a lot of songs, but those are probably my favorites that I play.
Did the billets go a little crazy with you with the amp, turned up?
No, yeah, I'd have my acoustic guitar here, so
Okay.
it's not as loud. But no, I always try to check in. Like maybe I'm you know, a little too loud, or hopefully I'm not. But you know, they've been really chill with it. So I mean, if anything, you know, it's Jack who might be a little bit more annoyed because we live. He has another room in the basement, and we live together. So Van Volsen might be a little bit annoyed with me on when I'm strumming the guitar, but he's also picked up some lessons too. So I guess
They can learn. That's right.
yeah, I guess he can benefit from that. He might have to soak a couple of loud strumming nights, but I learned that he can learn his own thing too. So it's pretty funny.
I want to hear a Steelheads band now. Trout tunes, like who would be the best on each instrument in your mind, guys? Like, let's brainstorm here. Who's got that double kick on the drum?
No, it's funny you say that because we were actually talking about kind of forming something, because I know Ryerson's he's big into country, and he's actually got a surprisingly good voice. So I think Ryerson's our lead singer for sure.
Oh,
and
I like that. All right.
Me and Jack will be the guitar guys, and I think Martone said he might step up on the drums. So we got something forming. Yeah, we got something forming here. So hopefully we can show something someday. So.
Who would play the saxophone?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an instrument I might just have to.
Mac Donnell. I can see.
Yeah, he can pick something up. I think
McGregor could probably jump in on the saxophone. I think.
That's a good one too. Yeah,
that's
awesome. I think Mac Donnell can probably do like the bass or something. I know he's So,
all right.
It's funny though. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to seeing Trout Tunes, the band, come out. That'll be looking forward to the first album. All right, Lucas, thank you so much for coming on. Again, just a congratulations on your 100th game, as Mikey said earlier, and just congratulations on the season. And keep it going, man, and keep eating those medium well steaks.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Lucas, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. That was Mississauga Steelheads forward Lucas Karmiris, and we'll be back to wrap things up here on Trout Talk after this. And welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Brendan Lang, Zack Bodenstein, and Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis. Guys, just spoke to Lucas Karmiris. Great interview, good time chatting with him. Some interesting things about getting a band going here in Mississauga. I could see that. Zack, that's a good question. See what instruments the guys are playing. But no, I mean, on a serious note about him and about his hockey, obviously you can tell he's very knowledgeable about the game. He really understands what he's trying to do, and you can see it in his play, especially recently. He's been playing probably his best hockey of his career.
Hockey IQ. I'm just going to say hockey. His eye, you could tell by the interview, listening to what he's saying, talking about the coaches, what he's learned from past players, what he's learning all the time. Every game, it seems like he's learning, and his hockey IQ is absolutely off the charts, and he's getting better and better. Remember, James Richmond said before he'd like to play the right wing. Now he's at center. He's playing more center now, as you guys noticed, right? He's playing the position perfectly. The goals are going to come for this guy, just like he dominated with the Brantford 99ers.
Yeah, he's been dangerous off the rush. Like he's showing spurts. He's showing some promising, opportunities, and it's just going to be a matter of time for a lot of these guys. We forget how young these players are, and like he said, he's only been in the league for a year and a half. He mentioned his 100th game a few times, so it's just going to come for him as long as he sticks to the right idea and he sticks to that hockey IQ, his baseline. Because smart players, I mean, they're always going to be smart players, and the skill's going to come. We saw it with Van Volsen and his billet mate Lucas Karmiris. The two of them certainly play the game the right way. Two centers for the team who play a 200-foot game, and I think they've shown those offensive abilities at times. You'd obviously just like it to all click at the same time.
Yeah, definitely would like to see it all click. But again, playing some good hockey here through the past month and definitely coming up down the stretch of the season. All right, so talking about coming down the stretch, we talked about a little bit in the first segment, really bunched up at the top of the Eastern Conference. The Brantford Bulldogs, again, they're coming up after this one. So, Mikey, what are we looking forward to in that one?
Oh, we're going to look forward to a hard game, really, really hard, and especially in the Brantford Civic Center. Last time those two teams played in that arena, it was a 4-2 win for the Brantford Bulldogs, but a couple bounces went the Brantford Bulldogs' way. If those bounces didn't go Brantford's way, Mississauga won that game. They beat them 5-on-5. So expect a hard-nosed game. These two teams don't like each other. I could hear it on the bench when I was interviewing the last game when they played. So look for a hard-nosed game, a close one.
Yeah, physicality is going to be obviously of importance. Special teams for me, I'm going to go back to that. If the Steelheads win the special teams battle, they're going to win this game. And that could pretty much go for any game this year. Steelheads just need to be smarter. We saw last game Mississauga actually negate a power play for Brantford by taking somebody out of the pile and kind of baiting them into a penalty. So it's going to be a lot of that. A lot of after the whistle scrums. These two teams were playing each other, I want to say 5 times between January and March. So it's going to be a lot of Mississauga, Brantford. And the more they play each other in a short amount of time, the more compact it is. We know the more physical it's going to be. And that's what I'm looking for.
Before we go, don't forget, guys, Ryerson Leanders and Luke Misa, top prospects game. They'll be playing against each other. Team Red, Ryerson Leanders, Team White, Luke Misa. So congratulations to them. I wonder what's going to happen there. I wonder if Luke Misa is going to have a breakaway. He's going to make a save, or he's going to score, or Ryerson's going to make 5 saves. I can't wait.
I know. I'm excited too. Yeah. And when this comes out, the game would have already happened, but
right.
At the time of recording this, it still hadn't happened yet. So big congratulations to those two guys. Obviously it's huge for their careers to be able to go out and do that. So that's definitely a cool moment for them. All right. Before we wrap it up quickly here, we got about 1 minute left. Anybody got any quick life tips to throw out here before we wrap it up here on Trout Talk?
Zach, I know you got something.
Yeah. I think this might be a repeat, but be a leader, not a follower. So you see somebody else do something. It's like, they've already done it, but don't you want to be your own person? Don't you want to have your own thing? For me, I'm just, being original, being true to yourself, being genuine, like all that stuff's very important to me. I hate phoniness. I really hate that. That really irks me, as you guys know. So just, be a leader, be true to yourself.
Agreed. Be a leader, not a follower. This is a repeat and recording. Again, be a leader, not a follower. Don't follow, lead.
There you go. It is a repeat, but a good message for sure, nonetheless.
Very nice.
All right. Nice. Yes, very good. Zach, finish it out here on this Sunday afternoon as we get set for the Brantford Bulldogs and the Mississauga Steelheads in Brantford. It's going to be Mikey K. He's going to be on the call for that one coming up next. All right. So for myself, Brendan Lang, Zack Bodenstein, and Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, thank you for coming along here in episode 24 of Trout Talk, and enjoy the game coming up next.